we find that test frequency around pressure relief valve devices is a bit subjective. The lack of specific requirements for test frequency for your pressure relief devices puts the asset owner at some risk. That could be even delays, because you're really at the mercy of the interpretation of your local inspector. My name is Dave Thibault. I've been involved in the engineering of pressure relief valve devices for the past 45 years. I've joined the team here to provide technical and engineering support. Very excited about joining this team as we have an opportunity to engage the latest technology around pressure relief valve repair and testing. Today, we're going to be discussing the requirements and laws for New England and New York around the inspection, repair, and testing of pressure relief devices. Also included is the municipality of Buffalo, which for whatever reason has their own set of rules over and beyond that for the state of New York. You can find a link below this presentation, which includes a detailed report for each of the states and municipalities. There's a lot of material included. Some of that will include the specific statutes, includes whether a VR stamp is required. We have also listed any of the statutes that may specifically mention pressure relief valves. In addition to that, there is also some information on any responsibility that can be deferred to the local liability insurance companies, along with a lot of other really exciting material. I would suggest we go to the link below if you're looking for more detailed information for each of the states. Each of the states and the municipality of Buffalo require that any inspection, repair, and test of a pressure relief valve device be accomplished or done by an organization that has obtained the VR certification. VR stands for valve repair. This is a program that's issued by the National Board of Boiler and Pressure Vessel Inspectors. The VR certification lays out very detailed requirements for the program for any organization that wants to do valve inspection and repair. Requires a very detailed set of procedures and a quality manual. So basically, the VR outlines how you will do the repair, and again, with great detail. What it does not state firmly with any set of requirements is the frequency in which you do that repair. There are general guidelines outlined by the National Board Inspection Code, but they are only recommendations. So the VR certification provides us with how to do the repair. The frequency of which one does a repair is a bit of an unknown. The jurisdictional requirements for the states and the municipality of Buffalo each will provide detailed frequency requirements for inspection of the installations, examples, boilers, pressure vessels, for which the pressure relief valves are installed. However, they seldom give any specific language regarding the inspection and test of the pressure relief valve itself. Typical language that one would find in the state laws would be that the pressure relief valve or pressure relief device is in good working order. So that really leaves it up to the local boiler inspector or pressure vessel inspector to determine in their minds what defines good working order. As such, we find that test frequency around pressure relief valve devices is a bit subjective. The lack of specific requirements for test frequency for your pressure relief devices puts the asset owner at some risk. That could be even delays, because you're really at the mercy of the interpretation of your local inspector. Now, going forward, the National Board has recommendations, specifically their document NB23, and that is the National Board Inspection Code. That code is a nationally recognized standard and has been adopted by law in many states across the nation. Within those NBIC, National Board Inspection Code, rules, they do outline recommendations specific to the frequencies for both inspection and test of pressure relief devices. You can click on the link below for the tabulated list, Table 1. And within that table, it will list by industrial application the recommended test frequencies for the pressure relief devices. So there is a separate set of rules for power boilers, another for heating boilers, different set of rules for unfired pressure vessels. It is common in many states and municipalities to allow, by their laws, to have the inspections of the equipment performed by the liability insurance company. Some of the larger ones are Travelers, FM Global. These companies also have noted that they accept the NBIC rules, again, NB23 Part 4. So in many cases, the states will require that if these insurance companies perform these inspections, that they must be quote-unquote commissioned by the National Board of Boiler and Pressure Vessel Inspectors per the NBIC rules. For completeness, we also want to mention an additional standard that is out there in the industry, and that's API Recommended Practice 576. This practice does lay out recommendations regarding the inspection, repair, and test of pressure relief devices. The standard is very specific to the oil and gas industry, thus you possibly could come across this practice if you're dealing with any applications or locations in the oil and gas patch. It is not mentioned anywhere in the state laws and the municipality statutes for this study. With no specific rules laid out or dictated by the states or municipalities specific to the test frequency for pressure relief devices, this creates some uncertainty and risk to the asset owner. It leaves it up to the subjective interpretation of the local inspector, as previously discussed. Going forward, or presently, there are guidelines that have been put forth by the National Board of Boiler and Pressure Vessel Inspectors. Those guidelines, in many cases, have been adopted by the states and municipalities. Again, as previously emphasized, that for pressure relief valve device test frequencies, those guidelines by the National Board and as adopted by the states are only recommendations. But as of today, that is really the only set of guidelines that exist in the industry. Going forward, in a perfect world, adoption of those guidelines into law would eliminate a lot of this uncertainty and subjective nature to test frequencies. If you're seeking any additional information or requirements for any of the states of interest, there is a separate link for each state and for Buffalo listed below this presentation. Within these links, you will find a detailed outline of the specific states' rules and regulations that we have some prepared and summarized. If you have any questions or require additional information, please feel free to contact us for assistance.